That's a solid quote right there. Our other teammate now joining us. Does he play baseball?
I think, did you play baseball?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
That's right.
definitely don't do it anymore.
Okay, what position?
Yeah, too old for that. Predominantly second base, but
Predominantly second base.
really all over the place.
There we go. Jay Garcia just got out of the D-backs clubhouse. He was there when Torey Lavello announced the news with Merrill Kelly. Jake, your reaction?
It's awful. It's awful. This team was plagued by injury last year.
They're running out.
Yeah, they start spring training on the same exact note. Obviously, the Andrew Saalfrank news in the bullpen.
That was before day one.
Right. He's going to miss the entire year. And for Kelly, like, this was a guy who had told us that it meant so much to him to finally get his first opening day start. He obviously, had the stint in Korea where he reinvented himself, came back to Major League Baseball, and has been everything to the D-backs. And you could just tell the level of pride that he took in being named the opening day starter, and now that's taken away from him. The official diagnosis, intercostal nerve irritation. I was about to WebMD that, and
Well, don't do that. That'll
yeah,
be
that's true. That might give
scary.
us some bad information, actually.
Can't we just say it's a nerve in the back? Like it just.
I think that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Torey Lavello said that even he isn't exactly sure all the mechanisms that go on in there.
But listen, it was that Corbett injury too as well. I'd never heard of that hammer.
The hamate bone?
Yeah.
Well, we learned about it quickly that day because two other players ended up getting hit and breaking their hammy bone.
Yeah, so now you look at this D-backs rotation, and all of a sudden everyone slots someone. So is the opening day starter going to be Zach Gallen, who's taking the ball today for the first time this spring? Ryan Nelson might be the guy who's most deserving of it. Like, he's been this team's most consistent pitcher for the past 2 years. And then the back end of the rotation with Eduardo Rodriguez and Brandon Pfaadt. They had their struggles last year. Maybe there's something left in the tank with Rodriguez, and I think with Pfaadt, he's still a young pitcher finding his way. And then does this mean that Michael Soroka, gets bumped back into the rotation? Obviously,
He pitched yesterday.
Yeah,
and did pretty well early on too as well. Getting three.
Yeah, he kind of. Speaking of guys who reinvented themselves, like he had a year last year that he hadn't had in years before that. Like we're talking 2020 when he was on the Braves. But yeah, the D-backs depth is tested, and it's a position that they weren't already working at from a strength. So the offense is going to have to score more runs than the opponent because the pitchers, might be giving up their fair share.
It's just so. It's just tough to digest. Like literally, the same things keep happening. Like you started spring training with injuries, and they just keep going. And to the guy's credit, like we've tried to ask him. You know what I mean? We've asked Torey, and he's kind of nipped it in the butt really quickly. Like they're staying as positive as they can. But I just can't imagine what it's got to be like. All that star power, is hurt right now. Obviously, you're going to get guys back around opening day and around the home opener. And Morgan Carroll and hopefully Merrill Kelly.
And that's being optimistic.
Yeah, but
they are cleared to go.
It's still star powers that you were depending on, star players, are on the injured list, and a number of them.
And it makes it 10 times worse when you're trying to catch up to the star power that today's opponent has in the Dodgers. Like it's a tough task.
Can we boo him from here?
I'm personally not going to do that.
Okay.
But
I think everyone else on the stairs
okay.
will be.
We're gonna mic up everybody up here. Just have a boo the Dodgers all day.
Yeah. Well, it's something exciting to look forward to for anyone in the position of Brandon Pfaadt or Ryan Nelson to maybe get that nod.
And hey, I wanted to bring this up when I was looking at the D-backs lineup today. Another thing to be excited about is the starting combination that we're going to see in the outfield today. In center, we got Jordan Lawler, and then Ryan Waldschmidt, who's kind of been everyone's spring training darling. And
he's
then
our next
Jones.
He's our next Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah,
he's our next Paul Goldschmidt.
With the last name that ends in Schmidt, the D-backs have a pretty good track record with that. So no, I truly think like he's a complete player. Understands the strike zone, not going to strike out a whole lot. He hits for power, understands how to take a walk, and like those are all the makings of a professional big league hitter.
And Drew Jones, the future too as well, from first round pick, who people want to see.
Yeah.
These young guys are going to get time in the outfield this spring.
They're going to have to, and he's another player on their way to the World Baseball Classic, playing for Team Netherlands.
That's right.
So yes, we'd love to see Drew Jones get some run out here and make a shot at that opening day roster, especially with the outfield being
Jake,
fit.
in about 15 seconds, what are you looking for from Zach Gallen?
I don't speak in 15-second sound bites, but I get through one inning healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, he had a delayed start to spring training, kind of playing catch-up. We'll see, how his off-season work translates today on the field.
There we go. Will Zach Gallen be out there on opening day? We will see.